Hey Gumtown, how y'all doing? My name is Jamal Thomas. I'm the publisher of Gumtown Magazine. And we have a recap from tonight's city council meeting. It was very interesting, and it was crazy. We had to walk out and go get us some tequila. First off, starting with the city council meeting, all the councilors were present, and I think they all came tonight for a reason. Starting off, I know there was issues with the superstore on Mobile Road, and that was sponsored by Councilor Audrey Graham. It's carried over to September 21st because the owners were not present. You know, there was some things going on at that gas station, a lot of safety issues, and also with the extended stay studio on 2750 Chestnut Street. That's being carried over too because their owners were not present. The 2022 transportation plan was adopted. You know, it's dealing with Rebuild Alabama, so that was adopted unanimously. There were a couple reviews of issues with apartment complexes, with Liberty Square Apartments, Field One Center, formerly known as Bridgecroft, Kensington Apartments, formerly known as Red Lion, and the Villas at the Curve. Now, this was sponsored by Councilor Rondé Mitchell. Liberty Square Apartments, they do have a business license. Fields One Center, formerly known as Bridgecroft, they also has a business license, but they were not present. Now, Kensington Apartments, formerly known as Red Lion Apartments on Narrow Lane Road, they don't have no business license, nor the Villas at the Curve, they don't have no business license. So the thing was, a lot of people felt like this has to stop. You know, we cannot allow these apartment complexes to still do business and collect rent with no business license. They received a citation, and some of the owners say that they purchased the blight properties to renovate it, and it takes time. Now, the Jim Wright said these businesses, these apartments need to get serious about their business license, or we go show them. Bob Taylor with the License and Revenue Division, he was up there speaking, and they said they made contact with some of those apartment complexes, and they started the process to obtain a certificate of occupancy. And once they get a certificate of occupancy, they can get their business license. But still though, Councilor C.C. Calhoun was like, hey, we need to give cease and desist letters out. We need to stop the process, whether they're renovating or not. These tenants are paying rent, and we need to stop it today. So C.C. Calhoun was requesting that, hey, y'all send out these cease and desist letters. And Jen Wright said, you know, they need to be closed because some of these apartment complexes, they get $1 million in revenues a year, and they're not paying no sales tax. And so the thing was to place a lien on their title so they can't change ownerships, because that's what a lot of these apartment complexes do. When stuff get out of hand, they'll change ownership so they can start all over. They keep changing ownership, so that's their little loophole, what they do. And Rondé Mitchell said, Councilor Rondé Mitchell said, you know, what's stopping them from selling it to another owner? And the discussion with the people from the Revenue Division, like, we need to just place a lien on them, and the lien will stop them from doing anything else, so they won't change ownership. And they just need permission to file the lien. They said, go ahead and file those liens. So it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. And also, it was some safety protocol for some of the service stations. The pace car on Narrow Lane Road, we had a representative from the Self Johnson Community Neighborhood Association. She said it's unsafe for the community. There's trash everywhere. It's a hangout car. It's a hangout spot for people with race cars, whether they're in a car club or not. There's been shootings at the pace car. There have been killings at the pace car. Thursday through Saturday, it's just a mess. It's hot. It's an overflow. It overflows into the Cash Savers parking lot. People who shop at Cash Savers can't even get out. The neighbors are afraid. They feel unsafe, and she's requesting police presence from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And Marsha Johnson said, hey, she's experiencing the same thing in her district on South Hull Street. You know, people race up and down South Hull Street. Ed Grimes said in his district by Eastdale Mall, they congregate by Eastdale Mall. Marsha Johnson was like, can we get some type of speed bumps or something to get them from slowing down or whatever? And the police chief, she spoke and she said she wants to make an ordinance that deals with that addresses that. And she said they do have more cops on motorcycles out at night to help it. And for all the businesses who didn't appear, or all the apartment complexes that didn't appear for this, Counselor CC Calhoun was like, hey, we need a show cause hearing because the business owner should be responsible. Going back to also, it was two other service stations, the Road Run on Virginia Loop Road. They're open 24 hours. They have a package store, and Counselor Rondé Mitchell was asking the owner, like, hey, what security measures do y'all have in place? And Rondé Mitchell's supposed to go check on them to see if he got everything right. The cell phone rehab is a store on Vine Road in the plaza. You know, they fix cell phones and iPhones and screens like that. They failed to purchase a business license, so the city council did a unanimous vote, passing a resolution to revoke their right to operate a business. A new business owner, Sylvester Bruce, he's opening up two businesses, the Lava MGM and the Patio MGM, and he requested a restaurant retail liquor license, and he was granted that. Another business, El Pariso, they applied for a lounge retail liquor license on the Eastside Boulevard, and that got passed as well. There were some community members who came with some non-agenda items. A community representative from the Madison Park area, she came and she just wanted some questions like, hey, what's up with the redistrict? I know what's up with the numbers. I know it's going to be some redistricting with the census. What's up with the numbers? What's up with our sewer stuff? You know, what's up? I know we got this fund. You know, we getting these funds from the government, the American Rescue Funds. You know, what's up? Is y'all go fix up Madison Park? You know, our water issues or whatever. So they said they're waiting on. Jen Wright said that they're waiting on Washington D.C. to let them know how much money they can spend and how much they can spend and how they can spend the money. Counselor Brantley Lyons said that hey, he should hear something back within 10 to 14 days concerning like water and fire hydrants. Cynthia Grant, she works at Affordable Auto, that is a small business on West Boulevard, and she said they have a lot of theft problems, and she came to represent all the businesses. If you go to West Boulevard, the end by the Birmingham Highway, there's a lot of small businesses, you know, there's a lot of trucking businesses, oil companies, and things like that. And she said it's a lot of theft. They've been asking for help for the police, but there's so much theft. She said at her business, 18 catalytic converters were stolen. One of the business, you know, people try to steal fuel from the fuel tanks, but they couldn't. She believes that someone has a chop shop in the area. It was a business on Money Road. The address is 3226 Money Road. But the owner died, and it's a trailer there, so they believe it's a chop shop. You know, they steal from the businesses around there. You know, they steal. They clip batteries, catalytic converters, the whole nine. And so the police said they made several arrests. They're going to do some security assessments to help them out, to help prevent the crime. And Counselor R.G. Graham, that's her district, she said she encouraged them to get in the STAR program. All of you know him as Comedian Blue. I forget his real name because I know him as Blue too. He has the Blue Heart Foundation. He was recognized as this month's community hero. The mayor gave his report at the end of the meeting because he was late. Far as COVID-19, numbers went up 22%. In the last 14 days, we got 215 new cases. 200 people has been hospitalized, and we don't have no hospital beds. And he encouraged us to be more disciplined. Now, I know a lot of people are complaining about or want to know why all the different events were canceled around the HBCU Classic weekends. He said he was on a call with medical experts from the CDC, medical experts from Johns Hopkins University, and other mayors, and based on their conversations, he decided to cancel those events. And the Air Force also canceled some events too, because they was going to have a conference too. And he said we need to do what's best in the interest of the community. Montgomery is at a high transmission rate and at high risk. He urges everyone to get vaccinated because only 37% of Montgomery has been vaccinated. He said we have a lot of work to do. And basically what we got from that, hey, we might have another shutdown soon. And the mayor presented a non-discrimination ordinance. And he submitted it to the council and he read it in its entirety. And he said that, with the history of Montgomery, we are a city that's inclusive to everyone. And it's still a bad perception of Montgomery. And unfortunately, some of that perception is still a reality. And I know in the ordinance, it talked about making the Montgomery Human Rights Commission. He gave an example about Birmingham and Atlanta. Years ago, Delta Airlines, before they were Delta, I forgot the name of Delta Airlines before they were Delta. Birmingham, they didn't embrace diversity and inclusion at the time. So guess what the airline did? They went to Atlanta. Now look at Atlanta and the whole state of Georgia. It's an international hub now. And he also talked about how Birmingham just passed a non-discrimination ordinance 7-0. Mobile is considering that too. So there was a lot of discussion, a lot of uproar. And I know the mayor said like, hey, when businesses want to invest in an area, they look at things like that. They look at diversity. They look at inclusion. And the mayor was like, hey, if this ordinance don't pass, he go tell people it's not a place for this project. Because, so Audrey Graham, I guess she felt some type of way about it. And so she asked, so you really go tell businesses not to invest in here? So the mayor was like, hey, if they ask about it, I'm going to tell them the truth. If they ask if you have a discrimination ordinance, I'm going to say the council did not pass one. It was people who came to advocate the ordinance. A lot of people from Montgomery Pride United. It was some people who opposed the ordinance. Pastor Cal Searcy, his concern was about changing the language about perception. Former Councilman William Green, he opposed it. He talked about it'll make room for transgenders and sexual predators to do what they want to do. And so him and the mayor got into it, and the mayor was like, that's the most hateful speech I ever heard. I mean, it was an uproar. People were clapping, people were booing and everything. And Councilor Marsha Johnson was like, it's past time. We need to change. Montgomery is a city that's open for everybody. CC Calhoun was like, hey, we need to include everybody. Then Artie Graham said, well, the airport authority, are we really doing something? They're not including minorities. And her concern was like, hey, would an ordinance change anything? What's a piece of paper go do? It ain't go change nothing. And Glenn Pruitt said we need to carry it over to the last meeting, and people started booing. I started booing. And so after people started going forth, it was a vote. The council did not pass the non-discrimination ordinance. The council did not pass the non-discrimination ordinance. The birthplace of the civil rights, the birthplace of the Confederacy. We got the EJI here. We just did not pass it. The councilors who voted for the ordinance, who wanted the ordinance in place, were Marsha Johnson, CC Calhoun, Oronde Mitchell, and Clay McKinnis. Those who were opposed were everybody else. Ed Grimes, Brandon Lyons, Charles Jenwright, Glenn Pruitt, and R.G. Graham. They opposed the ordinance. So we do not have a non-discrimination ordinance in the birthplace of the civil rights movement. I think that's all we got for now. Let me recap. Like we said, Liberty Square Apartments and the Old Bridgecroft, they do have a business license. The Villas at the Curve and Keniston Apartments, formerly Red Lion Apartments, they do not have a business license. They're going to put liens on everything, so they cannot change ownership. They're trying to make it so they can, hey, y'all gotta have a business license to operate. Since Red Lion was not there, the Villas was not there, the Road Runner on Willie Road was not there, or anybody from the Pace Car, there's going to be a show cause hearing because it was like a no call, no show. I think that's about it. And I think that's it for the city council meeting. The next meeting will be in 2 weeks. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like and share this video. We walked out of the meeting because we were upset. We had to go. We walked out the meeting to walk in the liquor store. We got our tequila. And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you for more information about Gumptown Magazine, visit www.gumptownmag.com. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and share this video. We're on Instagram, Gumptown_mag. We're also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @GumpMag. That's GUMPMAG. We're getting ready to publish our third quarter issue. If you're a small business owner and you want to grow your business, give us a call at 334-301-7371. If you're having an event, we'll be more than happy to cover your event. We have advertising packages available for event coverage. So call us again at 334-301-7371. That's 334-301-7371. That's our city council recap. And we want to thank Serious Injury Law Group for sponsoring all of our city council recaps. If you're in an accident, personal injury, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, contact the Serious Injury Law Group at 334-900-0000. That's 334-900-0000. Gumptown, thank you so much. We be everywhere.